Well, hey, what do you say we move right along to the city of Chicago, huh, Ben?
Yes.
All right. And hey, let's talk about the latest poll that came out. A poll all about our Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson.
Let's remind the people of Chicago that Brandon Johnson spent $32,000 in campaign funds on haircuts and makeup.
Oh, you kidding?
So I got an early Christmas present for you, Brandon Johnson. Just some makeup for you right here. You got some rouge. You got the makeup brush right there. So you
Okay.
can save this people some money.
Who let this guy in?
Anthony Beal. Anthony Beal, you cannot stand Brandon Johnson. The hate that you have for Brandon. By the way, I think he's looking good. It's a good haircut. Hey, Clinton, I didn't hear you crying about Clinton when he got that haircut. Remember when Clinton got the haircut? It was a big, that may be before you were paying attention.
I remember when Lori got that haircut.
Oh, my God. Hey, now Anthony Beal would have complained about Lori because he didn't like Lori either. Anthony Beal, Alderman, 9th Ward, for some reason, just cannot stand Brandon Johnson. I know why. Because he endorsed Paul Vallis, Anthony Beal did, for mayor. Paul Vallis lost, and Brandon Johnson didn't make Anthony Beal chair of some committee. See, if he had selected him as chair, he wouldn't be talking about the haircut, D. You know what he'd be saying? Mayor Johnson, I love your haircut. You're looking good today, which is kind of like what he used to say when Ron was mayor. Mayor Ron, let me just say, that's a fine suit you're wearing. Excellent suit. I love that cut. Okay. And oh my God, Mayor Daley. What a great mayor this mayor is. I love this mayor. Okay. But he doesn't get to be a chairman. Suddenly he can't stand the haircut. Just say.
All right, enough about haircuts. Let's talk about this poll.
Yes.
And for this poll, we're going to Indianapolis. The following comes from CBS 4, Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, damn.
How much going on over there? I guess I want to talk about Chicago. A newly released poll conducted by the 2040 Strategy Group offers a nuanced view of Mayor Brandon Johnson's standing with Chicago voters at the midpoint of his first term. The survey of 855 Chicago residents fielded between May 27th and June 4th of this year reveals a city grappling with uncertainty, disappointment. Oh, Indianapolis knows how to write the dramatics here. And opportunity as it evaluates its progressive mayor amid ongoing national political turmoil. So let's take a look at this poll. Let's see what we learned from this poll. All right. So we have approve, disapprove, or mixed on Brandon Johnson. And we have here different sections of voters. Okay. First up, we have black voters. 30% of black voters approve of Brandon Johnson. 28% disapprove. While 43% are very confused. They don't know what to say.
They don't trust anybody calls asking questions.
Who is this?
Yeah, who is this?
On to Latino voters. Latino voters, 23% approve of Brandon Johnson. 39% disapprove, with 37% mixed. White voters, 33% of white voters approve of Brandon Johnson. Just like Latino voters, 39% of white voters disapprove of Brandon Johnson, with 28% of white voters, well, who? I don't know. Mixed.
Yeah.
Oh, now.
Yeah.
Ben's favorite.
Yeah. Oh, I love this part. Go ahead. Go. You're on a roll.
The millennials.
Millennials. I love you, millennials.
Hang tight.
Millennials. There's a lot of love for you coming. Go ahead, D.
That's ages 27 to 43, by the way. Which is
Wait, time out. Let me do the math if I agree with that. So 27 means 98. All right, I'll give it to you. And what was the top rate? 47? No, 78. No. The oldest millennial in my book is God, D. You don't want to go down this path. The arguments I've had with millennials. I've had this with you. You say you're not a millennial. You are so a millennial. Then I'm not a millennial.
Oh, I know I'm a millennial.
Our friend Mark, Apo, that Mark. And we have a mutual friend, Mark. Love you, Mark.
Inside baseball here.
Yeah, I know. He's like, he could go on for an hour why he's not a millennial. Like, dude, you're a millennial, Mark. Just no, Ben. When I was alive, they had rotary phones. You ever hear? These are the arguments I've had. Anyway, D, I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead. This is my favorite category, millennial voters. Go ahead, D.
Hey, someone get Dan Biss on the phone. We may need some help with these numbers. Someone sounds confused. We'll see if Dan answers.
It's the mathematician. To carry the 1, add 2.
All right, here we go. Millennials. 41%.
Wow.
Millennials.
Yes.
Approve.
Yes.
Of Brandon Johnson. 28% disapprove. While 31% of millennials are mixed.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk more on that in moments. Up next, boomers. Boomers.
Oh, boomers, my beloved boomers. You guys are so pathetic. Boomers.
Ages 60 plus.
Oh, guys, what a pathetic generation you
Stay
are.
off these guys' lawns, all right? 19% approve of Brandon Johnson.
19%.
The whole show could have been this poll, by the way.
I know, it really could.
47% of boomers disapprove.
Get off my lawn! Clean up after your dog.
With 34% going, who the hell's that guy? They were mixed.
Boomers.
All right, then we got women. 19% of women approve of Brandon Johnson. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get the team to do some numbers on that one. 37% of women disapprove. 44% of women are mixed. I don't know, Brandon. Maybe it's your haircut. Okay.
Yeah.
Men, 35% approve, 39% disapprove, and 26% are mixed.
Many thoughts of this. First, D, let me give a shout out to Alvin Tillery, who conducted this poll. Good friend of the Ben Joravsky Show, comes on all the time. And I haven't talked to him since the poll was released. He sent it to me right before it was released. So I mean to bring him back. We'll do a deep dive with him about this poll. The first point I want to make, it stands in contrast to the poll that some right-wing group did where he was, I think it was 6% approval rating, which is everybody picked up on that, Brandon did. So that's kind of become the buzzword that he's got 6%. So I always thought that was kind of a what's the right word to say this, a bias number, and that's probably closer to what this poll shows. But let me just say this, the most pathetic generation of them all is they're not the millennials. It's not the Gen Z, which you didn't mention. He's got a 27% approval rating of Gen Z. It's not even the boomers with their 19%. It's Gen X. And we've discussed this, D. Gen X is the weird. I'm sorry, Gen Xers. You guys are so weird. You're like wannabe boomers so bad. Okay? You just admit it. You want to be a boomer. You want to be some old crusty guy complaining. And nobody listens to you because nobody cares about Gen X. So, D, they have a lower approval rating than boomers do. Gen X guys. Sad. All Brandon Johnson has done as mayor, realistically, is things that boomers and millennials want. We're about to have NASCAR again. Okay? Had a Democratic convention. All right? Okay? He didn't raise property taxes. Okay? He gave the police a raise. That's all stuff you guys want. And you still complain, oh, Ben, oh, I'm a boomer. So it's absurd, the city's attitude toward Mayor Brandon Johnson. D, I know what you're going to say. Well, Ben, if he's done all these things that these right-wingers want, why are you still supportive of him? And that is an excellent question, D, and I'm really glad you asked that question. And the answer is because everybody else is against them. Someone's got to be for him. I mean, the illogic and the irrationality of a Chicago voter is always out front, confronting it my whole life. And so the same people that just marched in line behind Daley and Rahm now, fall out of line with Brandon Johnson simply, I don't know why. He's doing pretty much the same thing the mayor and Rahm and Daley did. You loved it when Mayor Rama Daley did it, and you don't like it when this guy does it. What? I don't understand it. So I admit it's kind of a contrarian thing. Also, I've known him forever, and so on a personal level, I like him. There's that. Very strange. But this poll, D, and here's something. The poll, now this is interesting, D. Black voters' approval rating is 30%, white voters 33%. He's higher approval rating among white. Now, I know what you're going to say, but Ben, as a mathematician, Dan Biss and I would tell you that that's within the margin of error, so it's roughly the same. And you're right, D. Good point. Another good point that you made. And thank you, Dan Biss, for helping us on this one. But still, what I'm just saying, it's still 33-30. I would have thought going back to the other bit we did about gambling, I would have thought it would have been higher. And I would have lost my money, D. I would have lost my money. Okay. You could have done an over-under on the.
You'll have another opportunity coming up with another Ben Joravsky Show sports bet. But go ahead.
Okay. But I would have thought the over-under between the difference between white voters and black voters and approval rating for Brandon Johnson would have been like 5. And it was 3. So there you go, D. So anyway, yes, interesting poll.
Very interesting.
I think it kind of says that Chicago is in a moment of transition about their attitude toward Brandon Johnson. It seems like the hatred of Brandon Johnson may be dissipating a little bit, maybe fading away to a certain degree, but there's still a lot of opposition to him, and enough opposition that just about anybody who wants to be mayor is probably still entertaining the notion of running against him.
Okay, now, you said you're thinking about the boomers. Now let me get on about the millennials, all right? Hey, millennials, you're full of crap. You just say whatever, it makes you look good or whatever, get you clicks and likes on social media. Be honest.
Millennials. Let me ask you this, D.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah. I love it, yeah.
All right, so as our representative for millennials.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Please explain this to me. What's with Gen Z? 27% approve versus 41% of millennials. Gen Z is a lower rating of approval than millennials.
Well,
what's going on?
I have a theory with all this generational stuff. All it is, it's whatever your parents were, you can't stand. Right? Like, so millennials, they have kids now that are, older. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm so, woke or whatever. And they can't stand that because it's their parents, They're like, man, that's so corny. I just don't want to be like my mom and dad. So that's all it really is, right?
Wow. Well, not to get too personal and not to be your therapist, but is that the case with you?
Well, my kid can't talk yet. So
no, your parent.
Oh.
Your kid can't talk. I've heard her talk, but I don't think she's formed political views yet.
No, my parents, and I thank them for it, like, were zero political. We never brought up politics. We just worked really hard every day and ate dinner and went to sleep. We never, ever discussed politics. Like, I never remember it growing up. So I have no clue. But I think that's kind of what it is, right? Like millennial, like whatever your parents are, you are not, because you just can't stand it.
Well, that's an interesting observation. It was not true with me. But and on some areas it was, some things I disagree. And here's weird, dear. We'll move on from this because people don't want to hear us engage in soul searching. But the number one topic, could you imagine if you grew up, the number one topic in our house for as long as I can remember was politics. When I was 4 or 5, I remember I went with my mother when she voted for JFK. I was with her. She drove me to the polls with her, and it's so wild. I know my family is actually a minority compared to your family, because I do know this from having talked to people. I'll say, "So who'd your parents vote for?" They go, "I don't know." And I'm like, "How do you not know who your parents voted for?" My parents would be talking about, Ben, who talks about stuff like that? Only your weirdo family. And I think you're onto something. I think the number of families that talk about politics is less than the number who don't talk about politics.
Yeah.
So anyway, you could be right. I'm going to do a deeper dive on that theory and get back to you.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of Gen Z right-wingers.
Well, the thing is that Gen Z, well, there's a ton of millennial right wingers. Look, without getting too far away, I'm going to go back to the poll. 28% of millennials disapprove of Brandon Johnson. 26% of Gen Zs disapprove of him. So there's according to that poll, there's more right wing millennials than right wing Gen Zs. I just think Gen Zs aren't paying attention, D. That's my honest. You know what I'm saying? They're too young. Like, I don't know, man.
Huh? Mr. Beast?
Okay. The views and opinion.
No, hey,
Dr. D toward Gen Zs is not shared by the Ben Joravsky.
I realize that when I get older, like there's going to be a lot. I think millennials are going to be the new boomers. We're going to get trashed so hard. And I'm going to be right there with them, trashing millennials. I'm with you. Yeah. Millennials.
Well, I give them credit in this particular poll. They have the highest. I view it this way. Like if you're for Brandon Johnson, you have an open mind. That's how I'll put it. You're not just following everybody else, right? Because everybody jumped on that 6% number about Brandon Johnson, so it meant like, oh, it's universal. Everyone in the city of Chicago hates him. So if you say I'm for Brandon Johnson, I like him, my favorite, then you're at least breaking from the ranks of what is acceptable political discourse. So I give you credit. And by the way, what was Gen Z's approval rating for? Hold on. Boomers 19% approval, Gen Z 27%.
But I just feel like with millennials now, we could talk about this in other shows or whatever. But with millennials, like there's this little precursor before every answer. Don't cancel me. Like that's like a lot of millennials. They grew up in that kind of area. You know what I mean? So that 41% could be them going, just don't, please. I love Brandon Johnson. Don't cancel me.
Wait a minute. You're going to more likely to get canceled before. Who got canceled?
I'm just saying.
If you take a look at the whole entire history of people who were canceled at a certain radio station that came out, who got canceled? The Mayor Rahm guy or the Brandon Johnson guy? I'm just saying, when I look at people who were canceled by the world, I don't see a whole lot of mainstream people getting canceled. You know what I'm saying? I don't name a lefty anywhere in the political universe. You can't because they're not there. They get canceled. All those guys, even MSNBC cancels them. So anyway.
Millennials were like holding down real important jobs during the times of Donald Trump, like president. So there was a lot of canceling going on. You know what I mean? Please don't cancel me. I love Brandon.
I'm truly trying to think of one person that got canceled for criticizing Brandon Johnson. I'll get back to you. I'm going to have to do a FOIA investigation for someone canceled for not liking Brandon Johnson.
When you call FOIA,